Hi, Thomas. How are you?
I'm good, thank you, James. How are you?
Yeah, really well, thank you. Have you got any news from an injury point of view? Anyone back in contention this weekend?
No, same squad.
It's 6 draws in 7 now, but you're unbeaten in 8. How would you assess the mood amongst the squad heading into these last 4 matches?
I would say it's good. In general, after the game against Cardiff, of course, obviously there was some disappointment that we didn't win because we did more than enough to win the game. But I think it's easier when you perform well and you give everything in a match to accept that, okay, that is the margins of football that didn't drop our way, but we did what we should do to win the game, and we move on. We learn from the small bits we need to adjust, and then we're ready to go tomorrow against a very good Bournemouth team.
You clearly have liked to have won more matches in recent time, but do you see keeping that unbeaten run going as something which is quite important?
Yeah, of course. There's no doubt that we are very difficult to beat. We also see, I think we lost 7 games in the whole season, which is the best record together with the promoted Norwich. So it's about turning those draws into the wins. I think we done enough, especially in 6 draws, more than enough. But we just need to keep going, adjusting the fine details.
And it's a maximum of 3 points needed to secure a playoff spot. Are you already planning for a potential playoff tie?
I'm only planning for the next game. That's tomorrow against Bournemouth. That's the only thing I'm looking at. Some other people are asking me, who do you want to meet in the playoffs? I don't know. I don't care because I have one game to prepare for. That's the next game. And then I would say that we still have a hope for automatics. So of course, we go for that. And the next thing I would like to stress is that I think we will fight to the very end of this season. And if we need to play more matches of the season, then we will continue fighting and running and doing our very best to get the results we all hope for. But we have performed very well this season. I think sometimes we forget that we are Brentford. We are a mid-table budget club. Our model 100% work, what we achieved last year. So now it's 2 years in a row that we're actually competing for automatic promotion. That's an incredible achievement. And both years we decided to sell some of our best players before the season. And then we kept going. So we are doing an unbelievable job. I think this year, maybe we've been a little bit unlucky with margins and injuries to key players. But I think in general, we need to set things in perspective and think, wow, we have done well. But does that make us be laid back, sit back? No. We are very ambitious. We are very, very aware that we want to top perform tomorrow against a good side. So we are ready to fight tomorrow.
You spoke about wanting to improve on some fine details. Could you give us some insight into what areas you're hoping to see some improvement?
I think it's very clear that even that we are, I don't think we're the top scorers anymore. I think Bournemouth was a little bit a goal or two better than us, but also played one more game. So it's clear that we can score goals, but it's in the final third, I would say. There's bits we need to do better, not only the final breakthroughs, but also to keep the pressure up there, also to move the ball better. But all that was a big improvement against Cardiff. I was really, really pleased with that.
And this system of 3 at the back, I think you've used it 3 matches in a row now. Obviously worked brilliantly against Preston. Do you see that as the formula that's going to take you until the end of the season, or is it going to be more flexible? And are you pleased that you've now got that option?
I'm definitely thinking I like to have 2 systems to variate between, to be a little bit more flexible. I think actually, if you look back at the game against Preston and the game against Cardiff, and when I looked them back afterwards, I think maybe we did even better against Cardiff, because we didn't get in front and we didn't get those goals. I think we performed much better first half against Cardiff than we did against Preston, but we didn't score 2 goals on the 2 chances, and then we know things changed. So I think it looks better and better, and it's something we need to keep work on to maximize.
And just final question from me, Thomas. 7 wins in a row now for Bournemouth. What are your thoughts on the levels that they're playing at the moment and the impact that Jonathan Woodgate's having? I
think it's really, I'm very pleased to see Jonathan Woodgate having success together with his coaching staff and the players. He had a tough time in Middlesbrough in many ways, and it's another good example of it's not black or white, that he's a promising young coach. So I think it's very impressive how he turns it around, and they definitely have momentum. So if you look at the top 6 sides now, I think they are the team in form. I think they are the best performing team right now. Also, when I look at the games we're analyzing, I think they are. We all know that confidence means a lot, but I must say that their front 4 look unbelievable. I think Danjuma as a winger is, for me, the best winger in the division in terms of skill set and of course goals and assists. We all know Brooks' quality. We know Solanke is a striker that has massive potential. He's still young, and I think he still have a lot of things to prove and do better. And then there's the Danish lad Billing, that is unbelievable this moment in time. I must say he's doing well. He's impressing me. So I think they have a massive threat going forward that we need to take care of, and you can see why they have why they're the top scorers in division. Those 4 players, that is Premier League quality. So that's what we are facing tomorrow, and then we're just expecting us bang. Brentford, you're going to win that. That is fantastic. That means we've done something unbelievable the last 2 years. That's I'm unbelievably proud of. We have a plan, and I promise you, we'll be ready to hurt them as well.
Brilliant. Thomas, thanks so much for your time.
You're welcome.
Hi, Thomas.
Hi, Phil.
Just a quickie in regards to what you were just sort of saying about the squad that Bournemouth have at their disposal, and we look at Norwich and Watford in the top 2 positions as well. This has been a tough year for everyone financially, certainly in the world of football. Has it been a year where the parachute payments and the being teams relegated from last year's Premier League may have given an even greater advantage than other years because of that?
It's a very good question that I'm a little bit in doubt of how I should answer it. Not because I don't want to. I'll come back to that, but I like to have facts. That's one thing, or how can you say a strong opinion on it? So I'm a little bit in doubt how it's been the last couple of years with the relegated Premier League sides. My feeling is. And also my knowledge, I'm not bang on it, is that Watford, Bournemouth and Norwich, they lost very few players this season, more or less. So if they can keep a squad that, especially in Bournemouth's case, they were in the Premier League 5 years. That's a Premier League side going down. Norwich, which done unbelievable well to keep more or less intact squad from the promoted, relegated, then now promoted again, and Watford more or less the same. So that is very good quality. I think that we performed well enough to more than competed with those 3 teams. And I think if you look at all stats, numbers, or also look at the games, I think maybe we could have deserved even more. And I think we've been more unlucky with injuries, but that's the way it is. We had everything to play for the rest of the season, and we're ready for that. So maybe this year, because of COVID, they couldn't sell their players. I don't know.
I suppose the point I'm sort of getting at is as well is if you then add into the fact that you beat 4 Premier League teams in the League Cup run, and that you're up there with those sides as well that have that quality, that's part of why you feel proud of what your group is doing.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a very good point that we beat those 4 teams. We are up there competing And we all know that it is the fine margins. It's the very fine margins that decide if you're going up or not. So we need to find a way to turn those fine margins into our favor. But no, I think we've done very well. Are we satisfied? No, we are not done with the season. We are fighting every day, and we're looking forward to a game tomorrow, which I'm thinking going to be a top game to watch against two good sides that want to attack. I'm really looking forward to it. Really, I must say.
Absolutely. I think most people are. I'm just talking about the injuries. And again, this is not disrespectful to the players that have come in, but you in recent weeks have lost both what would be seen as your regular starting fullbacks, with Henrik and Rico both missing. And they've been important to the way that you play. And for any squad, that would be a difficult balance to try and rebalance or recalibrate in that sort of circumstance.
Definitely. Of course, I think we all want our starters, if there is something like that, being fit and ready and available. And a part of us missing those two is also why we changed to a 3-5-2 system to get the maximum out of the current squad. And I think first, I must praise again Mads Bech Sørensen has done an unbelievable job this season in general as centre back, but also stepped in and was a left back, and he gave his life out there. And I think actually Mads Rorslev as a right back, wing back now is progressing and improving from game to game. So I think they're doing fine. But of course, Rico, for me, is the best left back in this division. With his aggressiveness, his 1v1 skills, both ends, and he's an unbelievable player. And I think Henrik is one of the best right backs. And that experience he got is so valuable, and the leadership and his skill set. So of course it's a loss, but that's football. If you don't have your best players or some of your best players, you need to adjust and find the best way to perform.
And Christian Norgard slipped into that back three. He's an excellent defensive central midfielder. He's obviously now an excellent sort of libero, sweeper, central defender, and he always looks calm. He always looks assured. How much of that is just about his confidence in his football ability, but also his mentality?
Now it's only because he listened to what I said to him, so that's the reason. No, he's a really good player, and I think he's a really good number 6 because of his composure and calmness, and I think because he plays forward more or less every single time, first or second touch and full lines. I think that's a massive advantage, a massive offensive weapon, because if you want to create, you need to progress some steps before you get up there. And I like to say a libero, because I think he is actually the way we play it. He played like a Franz Beckenbauer, and he actually have that presence, I would say, the way he carry himself. I really like that. And now we only did it for 3 games, so hopefully we can develop it more and more and be flexible with him there.
And you mentioned that playing forward, that's something that you do. That's a mentality that you want, I know. Regardless of what the end of the season is, how important is it to be brave in these games? And then if there are extra games come the end of the season, if that's required, courage and bravery are required.
Yeah, it's so important we are brave. It's so important that we are attacking and we are playing forward. And I think actually I think we've done it more or less throughout the season. And I think the last 2 games, and let's just say the last game as an example against Cardiff, we want to win. We need to win. So in the end, I think we have 2 centre backs and 1 defensive midfielder. That's what we have on the pitch. The rest are strikers, wingers, or 10s. So that's 7 players that are offensive. And you can't go more offensive than that. Try to win the game. So we try to have that offensive mindset, and I think we perform to get the 3 points out of it against Cardiff. But you never know. You can do everything perfect, but because of the margins, it's not only when we put it in the back of the net. We need to look at the performance and what we did and the initiative. So I think I was very pleased with that. I also said that after the game.
And lastly, for me, you can still end up with more points than last season, Thomas, which despite the difficulties, despite the unusualness of the year, that would still be, wherever that leaves you, that would still be a great achievement, wouldn't it?
It would be, yeah, definitely. Of course, I like to get. Of course, it's in the end we don't care how many points we get if we just get promoted. But I think it's a big part of you can see that consistency in performance and improvements. So of course, if we get more, it'll be brilliant. So let's start with hopefully 3 points against Bournemouth.
Brilliant. Best of luck tomorrow, Thomas. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Welcome.